Across London on 1458 AM and DAB, smart speaker, mobile app and LeicaRadio.com.
This is Leica Radio.
From the Sky News Centre at 9, Gordon Brown's pushing for an emergency budget before what he calls a financial time bomb pushes Britain into a humanitarian crisis. A report commissioned by the former Prime Minister suggests 4 million households will spend a quarter of their net income on energy bills. It also found some are up to £1,600 a year worse off. Professor Donald Hirsch compiled it.
This is all calculated before the increased amount of increase we're being predicted for October, and you've got other things like food prices going up. I mean, crisis is an overused word. This could be an emergency, a national emergency by winter.
The government says it's acted to protect the 8 million most vulnerable families. Police are investigating after an 11-year-old girl died after getting into difficulty at a water park in Berkshire. Officers say her death at Liquid Leisure yesterday is unexplained. Music industry officials are calling on the government to do more to remove red tape, stopping UK artists from touring in the EU since Brexit. Many bands and performers say they are still facing delays, lost equipment and expensive bureaucracy. Sport. Chelsea kicked off their Premier League season with a scrappy 1-0 win at Everton, while Tottenham thrashed Southampton 4-1. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp criticised his team after they drew 2-2 at Fulham. Nottingham Forest's long-awaited top-flight return ended in a 2-0 defeat at Newcastle. Manager Steve Cooper thinks his team will learn a lot from the match.
Listen, we're disappointed we've lost a football match today, but at least we felt, the difference, of what a Premier League game is, and there is a big difference, for sure.
Scottish Premiership champion Celtic were 3-1 winners at Ross County, while Rangers also made it 2 wins from 2, beating Kilmarnock 2-0. And England head into the penultimate day of the Commonwealth Games, second in the medal table. Keely Hodgkinson took silver in the 800 metres final last night. That's the latest. I'm Victoria Lawrence.
What? You'd like us to build for the whole development?
Mark's roofing company has won their biggest ever contract, so he needs more staff before he's in over his head.
That's wonderful news. Can't wait to start.
Indeed can help him find great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Add essential questions to your job post that help screen applicants for must-have requirements. To start hiring, visit Indeed.com/try today.
Leica Radio 1458 and Leica Gold 1035, a part of the Leica Group. Leica Radio Weather is brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com or call 0207 580 5000.
The weather today, Sunday 7th of August 2022. Sunny and gentle breeze. In London and surrounding areas, top temperature 27 centigrade. Sunset is at 8:39 p.m.
Weather was brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com.
Leica Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Leica Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the 122nd edition of Talking Points on Leica Radio with me, Keith Vaz. Thank you for joining us today, Sunday the 7th of August 2022. Not only the first Sunday of the month, but also the first Sunday of the Premier League season. Good luck, Leicester, as we take on Brentford. I hope you're having a great weekend. Top news items this week. A miniature Shetland pony called Patrick has been made the unofficial mayor of a Devon village. Last month he was given a chain of office in the village of Cocklington in Torquay. It followed a public campaign to recognise the impact that the pony had had on the local area. Do you remember this woman? Voice of Lieutenant Uhura.
I'm not going to do anything about it. You're going to sit in the closet.
The closet? What, have you lost all your sense of reality?
This isn't reality. This is fantasy.
Nichelle Nichols was one of the most famous actresses on American television. She was a star of the classic cult series Star Trek when she played the communications officer on the Enterprise, Lieutenant Uhuru. When she tried to quit the show, she was told by no less a figure than the Reverend Martin Luther King that she must not do so. He said that she had created a character of dignity and grace and beauty and intelligence. She had to stay doing the job. On the programme today, we'll be meeting a live and celebrated artist who started life using chalk and a blackboard. Several decades and thousands of paintings later, her pictures have been exhibited all over the world. What is it like being a famous Asian woman artist? Sneh Mehta will paint us a picture of her life. Now, how is the Tory leadership campaign going? We have two champions of the two candidates. First, it's Lord Rami Ranger, who is supporting former Chancellor Rishi Sunak. Lord Ranger is a great role model in his own right, having created a first-class company that has won the Queen's Award for Industry 5 times. He'll be talking to us from Dubai. Well, it is the holiday season. Then it's over to Leicestershire via Canary Wharf to hear from Liz Truss's cheerleader, Cham Mali Fernando, a barrister and former candidate for Mayor of London and parliamentary candidate for Cambridge. She will be telling us why she is so pleased that Liz Truss may become the third woman Prime Minister. But before all that, let's hear some music.
ओ पलम तोड़ दे भरम छोड़ दे घबराना बजाए तू दूर से होन क्या दिल के सारे बटन खोल के बोल दे सह मेरे ही हो ना बता दे तेरा आज है प्लान क्या
आज बिजली भी गिरवानी है फायर भी लगवानी है जो तू आके बेबी हमारे साथ मां आ के Kamaria Nojaria Kamaria Nojaria Oh, haye re mera dil le le haye re meri jaan le le badle mein tu thodi si तो मेरी यही ला दे हाय रे मेरा दिल ले ले हाय रे मेरी जान ले ले दिल में तो थोड़ी सी कमरिया नौजरिया कमरिया नौजरिया Nojaria Mamaria Nazar teri sadar teri bahar teri le le meri jaan dinae le sadar le a jo chahe le de de thoda pyar nazar teri sadar teri bahar teri le le meri jaan dinae le sadar le a jo chahe le de de thoda pyar bijli bhi girwani hai fire bhi lagwani hai jo tu aake baby hamare saath maan के कमरिया नौजरिया कमरिया नौजरिया
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. Out of 2 million arts graduates nationally, only 10% or 200,000 people make their primary earnings as working artists. My special guest on the program today is Sneh Mehta, who is a fine artist of Kenyan Indian origin based in Sussex. She has an MA in 20th century art history from Goldsmiths, a postgraduate diploma in fine art from the City and Guilds Art School, and a BA in graphic design. She was shortlisted for the John Moores Painting Prize 2016 and exhibited at the Walker Gallery, the Royal Academy Summer Show in 2012, and the Jerwood Space 2007, the New Greenham Arts 2004, and the Maritime Prize 2006, and the Sussex Open 1995 to 1998. Her work is in many private and some public collections and has been reviewed by NY Arts Magazine in 2004 and Contemporary Art Magazine in 2005. She has nearly 50 years of experience in the arts. Gosh, let's go over to Haywards Heath in Sussex and talk to Sneh Mehta. Good morning, Sneh Mehta.
Good morning, Keith.
Are you out in your garden painting? Because I know that Haywards Heath is a particularly beautiful part of the country.
Yeah, well, I have now built a studio in Haywards Heath because I used to be in studios in London. But since after the pandemic, I decided to start working from Sussex. So I have a lovely studio in the garden, except it's not very good connection. So I'm inside the house at the moment.
We've not really had that many artists on our program, so it's new territory from us. We had Vishal Joshi a few weeks ago, and now we've got you. In 1973, you were at Brighton Polytechnic doing the foundation studies in art and design. Was that your first contact with the arts?
No, because from a very young age, I remember helping my mom Rangoli during Diwali. And so I would say that was my first contact with arts. And my parents are very artistic people as well. But also at primary school in Mombasa, I used to do chalk murals on blackboard for school open days. And I remember doing a mural for Akbar the Great's court. But then, unfortunately, no art classes during my secondary education. So my biggest influence was when I came to school in England and took an art A-level, which cemented my love for art.
You then went to art and design, doing a BA in graphic design. Tell our listeners, because I think they'd find this interesting, what's the main difference between art and graphic design? Because they're two quite different things, aren't they?
They're very different things. So graphic design is a commercial side of art, and you get briefed by a client and you work on whatever brief they've given you to advertise their sort of merchandise in newspapers, magazines, hoardings, etc. And now, as a painter, I come up sort of with ideas of kinds of subjects I would like to address in my work. Sort of, to give you an example, I did a Morphosis series where I explore the idea of connections between human beings and the whole world around us and the universe. And so, for example, there's only a 10% difference between fruit fly DNA and human DNA. So you can see those works on my website. It's snehmehta.com.
Now, your work was published in different magazines. One of them was NY Arts Magazine. Which is the piece that you most like? Because you've been covered, your exhibitions have been covered so many times, but which is the one that you'd like to point to our listeners and say this was a great success?
Well, both the magazines covered my solo show at New Greenham Arts, for my Morphosis series. So I think both of them are good in their own rights and been written by different critics. So I think they bring different angles to my work. So I think it's, to read both of them would be good.
This is Keith Vass on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm going to take a short break. I'm talking to the fine artist Sneh Mehta about her life and the many prizes that she's won over the years. We're going to take, as I say, a short break, and we're going to be back to talk to her further.
Philip Schofield here. Get a quote from We Buy Any Car and you might be as happy as Larry from Surrey.
I got a great quote.
Or Larry from Yorkshire.
I was very happy with the price.
Or Larry from Essex.
My name's Rob.
Were you pleased with the price?
Oh yeah, I was happy as Larry.
To find out how much your car's worth in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see webuyanycar.com/info.
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹਸਾਉਣ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਦੀ ਹਵਾਵਾਂ 'ਚ ਡੁੱਬੇ ਲਾਡੋ ਤੇ ਨਰੈਣੇ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਿੱਦਤ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੰਦ ਮਾਹੀ
ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਭੱਜਦੀ
ਓਏ ਮੁੰਡਿਓ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ ਕੁੜੀ
ਚਲੋ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਕਰ ਲਿਓ ਪਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਬॉयਫ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਆ ਭੱਜ ਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫ੍ਰਿਜ ਚੋਂ ਲੱਸੀ ਲਿਆ ਦੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਕਾਲਾ ਪੈਣ ਡਿਆ
Starring Sonam Bajwa, Ajay Sarkaria and Gurnaam Pullar, Jind Mahi 5 ਅਗਸਤ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਜ਼ਦੀਕੀ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ For more info, visit whitehillstudios.com.
Get Leica Mobile's £20 UK Plan Mega Plus at 50% discount. Buy it today for just £10. You'll get 100 gigabytes of data, unlimited UK minutes and texts, and 100 international minutes to India and 40 other countries in the first 3 months when you buy online at leicamobile.co.uk. EU roaming included. Half price sale is on. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit leicamobile.co.uk today for new customers only. T's and C's apply. Leica Mobile.
7 days to go.
इस बार जश्न-ए-आज़ादी वेम्बली अरीना में ब्रॉडवे सिटी ग्वादर presents 75th Pakistan Jashn-e-Azadi with media partners ARY Digital on Sunday 14th August at OVO Arena, Wembley, London. Powered by Janan J. Branding partner Tariq Halal Meet with special performances by Ustad Shafqat Amanat Ali Khan, Arif Lohar, Bilal Saeed, Aima Beg, Sanam Marvi, Sai Zahoor, Hiramani, Humayma Malik. Book your seats from £15 only at ovoarena.co.uk. Radio partners Leica Radio and Leica Gold.
Big price cuts at Bobbins Cash and Carry Luton on the 5th, 6th and 7th of August. Buy Layla Gold Superior Extra Long Basmati Rice 20 kg only $28.99 and get Layla Pure Butter Ghee 500 grams for free.
From Amir Khan Productions, Viacom 18 Studios, and Paramount Pictures, experience the extraordinary journey of a simple man in a complicated world, based on Academy Award winner Forrest Gump, starring Amir Khan and Kareena Kapoor Khan. In Lal Singh Chadha in cinemas August 11. Book tickets now.
इंटरनेशनल सिद्धाश्रम शक्ति सेंटर एवं गौ सेवा धाम और वर्ल्ड संकीर्तन 2 ट्रस्ट के तत्वावधान में परम पूज्य सनातन धर्म भूषण राज राजेश्वर गुरु जी के पावन सानिध्य में श्रीमद् भागवत कथा का 8 से 13 अगस्त दोपहर 3:30 बजे से सीधा प्रसारण देखिए संस्कार यूके और यूरोप स्काई चैनल नंबर 725 पर। इंटरनेशनल सिद्धाश्रम शक्ति सेंटर 22 पामर्स्टन रोड हैरो HA3 7RR। कथा में यजमान बनने के लिए संपर्क करें 02084260678।
Win a 5-gram gold bar with Pind Valley. To enter, post a selfie or a drink with the Pind Valley bottle and tag Pind Valley_world. The best reel or selfie will be selected to win. Do not miss this fantastic opportunity in this hot weather by making your Pind Valley mocktail today.
Something special is coming. Save the date. Saturday, September 10th. The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to Sneh Mehta, a fine artist who is our very special guest today. Now, Sneh, in 2016, you were shortlisted for the John Moores Painting Prize. Of the prizes that you have been put in for, was that the one that you most wanted to win?
Oh, definitely. You know, all painters in the United Kingdom aspire to be selected for John Moores because it's one of the biggest painting prizes, and thousands apply, and so I was really extremely proud to be shortlisted, and as you say, a high point of my career and a big validation for my work, which is important to us artists. And then the Walker Gallery also selects a few artists, to give a talk about their work during the exhibition, and I was lucky enough to be asked to do so about about my artistic journey, which was very nice.
Now, your work in private and public collections has been obviously bought and sold by many, many people. What's the most expensive piece of art that you've sold? And I should ask you, what's your favourite piece of art that you've created?
Well, the most expensive work I sold was from my African series, Memories series, to a New York collector. I don't have one favourite because I work in so many different series, and so I'm sort of proudest of favorites from all of them, one favorite from all of the series I've worked on.
And if I was to say to you, Sneh Mehta, you can have any piece of artwork in the world in your house at Haywards Heath, just tell us which you want and we're going to get it shipped over to you. First of all, which one painting will you have? And don't say the Sistine Chapel. And which piece of art would you like?
Well, I mean, the paint. There is a painter called Jade Fatudojami, who is showing at the Venice Biennale at the moment, a British artist. And I really love her works, but I'm not quite sure of which one of hers I would choose. That would be one work that I'd like very much at the moment in my house.
And in terms of a painting?
I actually love Ram Kumar, his works. So again, one painting of his would be very nice. I didn't think of the different artists. Yeah, I have a lot of people who influence me and love, so it's a bit difficult to just pinpoint on one,
Now, going back to the beginning and you painting with your chalk on blackboards, did you ever at that stage, from when you were in Mombasa in Kenya, think that one day you were going to be a celebrated fine artist? Is that something that was fixed in your mind, or did mum and dad have something else in mind for you?
No, that wasn't, not fixed in my mind. I used to be a very good swimmer, and I also used to be a very good dancer as an entertainer. So, it was either one of those that was fixed in my mind, but then had talent in art as well. And, coming to England, obviously, directed me. I would have liked to become a lawyer like my dad, but I think I wouldn't have made such a good one better as an artist.
You can now paint Rumpole of the Bailey instead.
Yes, that's right.
Now, Sneh, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We always ask our special guests to choose a song that means something special to them and to dedicate it to someone special. Which song would you like to choose, and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
The song I would like to choose is Oh Ma by Lata Mangeshkar, which is Tu Kitni Achhi Hai, Tu Kitni Boli Hai. And I would love to dedicate it to my mom, Manjula Shah, who encouraged me in doing anything and everything I wanted. And actually directed my artistic journey in a way.
Good old mum.
Yes.
Really, thank you so much for coming on, and we hope to have you on again.
Well, thank you, Keith, for having me on your program today, and best wishes to all your listeners on Leica Radio.
Let's hear Sneh Mehta's song.
Tu kitni achhi hai, tu kitni bholi प्यारी है ओ माँ कि ये जो दुनिया मुस्काई मैं रोया तू रोई मेरे हंसने पे मेरे रोने पे तू बलहारी है
ये लास्ट अंतरा सबसे ज्यादा मेरा फेवरेट है बहुत सुंदर लिखा है क्या लिखा है सुनिए
माँ बच्चों की जान होती है माँ बच्चों की जान होती है वो होते हैं किस्मत वाले वो होते हैं किस्मत वाले जिनके माँ होती है कितनी सुंदर है कितनी शीतल है प्यारी प्यारी है ओ माँ ओ माँ ओ माँ तू कितनी अच्छी है तू कितनी भोली है प्यारी प्यारी है ओ माँ ओ माँ ओ माँ ओ
मम्मा थैंक यू सो मच आपने मुझे ये लाइफ दी मैं आपके बिना कुछ भी नहीं हूँ थैंक यू सो मच आई लव I really love you, Mama.
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. This week, the ballot papers are going to start to drop into the houses of Conservative Party members. We've got about a month to go until we find out who the next Prime Minister is. Is it going to be Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak? My next two guests on the programme are going to take sides. One is going to tell us why they think Rishi Sunak is going to be the best Prime Minister. And after I talk to my first guest, I'll talk to Shamili Fernando, who's a big supporter of Liz Truss. But my first guest is Lord Rami Ranger, who is the founding member of the Hindu Forum of Britain and chairman of the Pakistan, India and UK Friendship Forum and the British Sikh Association. His company, Sunmark Limited, is the only company in the United Kingdom to have been awarded 5 consecutive Queen's Awards for industry. He's also the patron of the Punjabi Society of the British Isles. In October 2019, he became a member of the House of Lords. He joins me this morning from Dubai. Good morning, Lord Ranger.
Good morning, Keith, and I'm grateful for inviting me to your show. Your show is very popular now across communities, so thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Well, Lord Ranger, only because I've got people like you on. Now, I should ask you first of all, I know you're in Dubai, so you'll be rushing back to vote, I'm sure. Do you know whether your ballot paper has arrived or not?
Well, I've been told that it has been posted, so it should be there when I get back next week.
So it's not like the parliamentary elections where members of the House of Lords are not allowed to vote. You can actually vote in this election, can't you?
Indeed, indeed. But I tell you, House of Lords can also vote in the local elections, but not in the parliamentary election.
Now, tell me something. You're a big supporter of Rishi Sunak. What's the reason why you're supporting Rishi Sunak as the next Prime Minister?
Well, first of all, as an immigrant, I can understand how difficult it is for an immigrant to make it to where Rishi has arrived. This is amazing. I don't know how many glass ceiling he's smashed to be where he is. And on top of that, he's very highly qualified, young, dynamic, full of energy and a lot of experience, and he's ethical and he's transparent. So I think this will be a watershed movement for the British politics, in the British politics, if a non-white person is given an opportunity to run the country and demonstrate that he can work just as hard, if not harder, for the success of our great country.
What do you think he will do for our country? It's the 5th of September. Imagine that day, Rishi Sunak in front of number 10 Downing Street. When he goes back in, what do you want him to do first for you personally, but also for the country?
First thing first, I would like him to unite the party because, this has been a very difficult election which was brought about by sudden resignation of Boris Johnson. So he has to unite the party because at the end of the day, we have to be forced to be reckoned with. And then he must bring the economy under control because the litmus test is economy. We are facing unprecedented challenges. First, it was the COVID. Now, war in Ukraine. All the prices are going up. The energy price affects each and every price. So therefore, he has to stabilize the economy. He has to do something about the industrial base of this country. Manufacturing, our manufacturing has declined over the decades. So he has to do something that we do not depend on this cheap Chinese import so we can start making in Britain once again.
You've met him, of course, on a number of occasions. What's the first quality when you shake his hand and look into his eyes? Many people say he's got very, very nice teeth. I read it in the paper this morning. What do you first strikes you about Rishi when you meet him?
He's a very humble person, very easy to connect, easy to meet, and he will hug you, he will shake hand with you. He is a real human being. He doesn't have all those airs and graces of being married to in a billionaire's family. So he is still the same humble Rishi, whether he's got the wealth or not.
We're going to take a short break. I'm talking to Lord Rami Ranger, who is bigging up Rishi Sunak for us. Let's have a flight update from Ange.
Leica Radio.
Flight updates are brought to you by TravelUp.com. Flights, hotels and holidays.
Let's go for a flight update. All flights are as scheduled, but please check with your flight operators before heading to the airport.
Flight updates were brought to you by TravelUp.com. Lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com. Call 0207 580 5000.
Leica Radio.
Traffic and travel.
I'm Michael Page. In central and east London, there are still many closures in place for today's London Triathlon. They include the whole of the Embankment, Tower Bridge and Southwark Bridge. The Highway and Limehouse Link Tunnel are closed both ways. And heading into town, the East India Dock Tunnel's closed from the A13 onto Aspen Way. Heading out of town in Chiswick, the A4 Great West Road is queuing now, approaching the Sutton Court Road junction where it's down to one lane for works. And on the M4 westbound between Junction 5 for Langley and 6 for Slough Windsor, emergency repairs means a lane is closed. On the tubes, the District Line still has no service between Turnham Green and Richmond because of a faulty track at Gunnersbury. And that's the latest traffic and travel.
Now get 25% off coffee and pastries at Cafe Nero 7 days a week with Compare the Market. Take it away, Sergey.
I need a Nero. I'm holding out for a Nero to get a flat white. It's gotta be strong, and it's gotta taste good, and it's gonna be made just right. I need a Nero.
Only with the Meerkat app from Compare the Market. With the qualifying product, 1 membership a year, 25% off barista-made drinks and pastries. App only, 2 codes per day. Exclusions and T's and C's apply.
This is Leica Radio.
Mom, have you bought some of those delicious noodles? You mean Coca, the king of noodles? Coca means delicious. Variety of flavors available in Coca Packet, Coca Cup and Coca Bowl noodles. Suitable for vegetarians and halal approved. The king of noodles, Coca noodles, packets, cups and bowls, now available everywhere in the UK.
Leica Mobile is offering great discounts on their current plans. There's a whopping 50% off on selected great value plans for the first 3 months with your online orders. Lots of data with additional data bonuses on auto renewals to share the moments that matter to you with your loved ones. With unlimited UK calls, texts and 100 international minutes to India and 40 other countries. Stay connected with high quality coverage and EU roaming included. Try Leica today and connect your world. Visit leicamobile.co.uk and grab one of our amazing plans with 50% off today. T's and C's apply.
30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30, 30, 30, 30. Okay, I'm ready.
Recording.
Philip Schofield here. With We Buy Any Car, you can now get a quote in just 60... fiddlesticks. I mean, what was wrong with 60 seconds? Sure, 30 seconds for a quote is easier for customers, but not for me.
Take 52.
To find out how much your car's worth in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
Hasu World now provides flight tickets to all the destinations as well as fit-to-fly RT-PCR tests. Visit hasuworld.com or call 0300 124 6500 for exclusive flight rates. ATOL protected.
From Amir Khan Productions, Viacom 18 Studios, and Paramount Pictures. Based on Academy Award winner Forrest Gump. Starring Aamir Khan and Kareena Kapoor Khan. In Lal Singh Chadha. In cinemas August 11. Book tickets now.
Himalaya Carpets is now doing buy now and pay later with up to 12 months interest-free credit available on all carpets, sofas and beds. Branches at Southall, Slough and Hounslow.
Himalayan carpets for low prices. Himalayan carpets.
1 hour online coding class with Byju's Future School. Free. Yes, you heard that right. Byju's Future School delivers a world-class online experience to help students become active learners. With interactive story-based lessons, children can learn how to build and publish real-world apps, games, websites and more. Help your child become future-ready with the language of the future. Coding. Get your child on a free coding class from Byju's Future School today and watch them become confident creators. Try it now by clicking on the banner at likeradio.com or likeagold.com. Byju's Future School.
महंगाई के इस दौर में ठंडक की राहत लीजिए पिंड वैली से। थर्स्ट क्वेंचिंग मॉकटेल्स लाइक कुल्फी फलूदा, कोकम, काला खट्टा, कच्ची कैरी, केसर, गुलाब, पान पसंद और कैरी पुदीना flavors, among many others. Available at your local Asian grocery shops or visit pindvalley.com. Call 0208 1065 716.
Something special is coming. Save the date. Saturday, September 10th. Talking Points with Keith Vaz. Celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
This is Talking Points on Leica Radio with Keith Vaz. Welcome back. I'm talking to the leading peer, Lord Rami Ranger, a big supporter of Rishi Sunak. We're doing a Sunak v Trust special. Later on, we'll be talking to someone who supports Liz Truss. Rishi Sunak is, as you say, someone who is very humble. Now, if he becomes Prime Minister, who would you like to see in his cabinet? Because you've got quite a few mates in his cabinet at the moment. Priti Patel is one of your big mates. Would you like to see her remain as Home Secretary? Who would you like to put in there?
I would like to see Rishi bringing back all the talent, all the people who have done a great job in his cabinet. The cabinet must reflect every color, every shade of the Conservative Party to make it a real, vibrant cabinet. So I think that he should really reach out to all those people who he think can add value to the government.
Give us some names. Let's name some names.
He will have people like Sajid Javid. He'll have Priti. He will also have Matt Hancock, Dominic Raab. I hope Liz Truss is a deputy prime minister with him. Or, all these good people, who have served the party and served the government to the best of their ability. So I like to see the talent invited to make cabinet robust.
And if he was to ring you up and say, Lord Ranger, what about being the leader of the House of Lords? Would you say yes?
Keith, I am now 75 years old. I worked very hard. I just want to enjoy my life.
Yeah, but Joe Biden is older than you. You know that? Joe Biden is 78.
For me, I'm a realistic guy. They are career politician. I'm a career businessman. And all my life, I've done a lot of community service. So I'm not cut out to be in politics 24/7.
You are very much the people's peer. But last question. When you began your journey, you've always been a Tory. Always. You've never flip-flopped from one party to the other. You were Tory through and through. Okay? When you started off in Southall, when you were standing as the candidate, to where we are now, this is a massive change in the Conservative Party, isn't it? Are you glad? This is you. You've been pushing this, haven't you?
Yes, we started with me and Lord Suri. We are both Lord now. This just shows how British sense of tolerance and fair play, even though we were highly critic of the party, we embarrassed the party that, you prefer color to caliber. You do not give us opportunities. When a bad employer doesn't look after staff, they go and work for the competition. You're sending us to the Labour Party, a vote to the other party, a loss of 2. For 20 years, we hammered and hammered. You must remember, in business, people headhunt. In politics, people actually undermine others to surge ahead. Nobody gives you any opportunity in politics, and no one promotes except themselves. So we worked 20 years because we wanted the Conservative Party to become stronger and democracy richer. And I'm very lucky that they not only I can see a change in my lifetime, but I'm also being given a peerage. So that I can't say more about this great country. It is one of the best in the world.
Lord Remy Ranger, the People's Peer, thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you for Leica Radio. Thank you for Keith Vaz, the man those people look up to.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
सुरूर है असर तेरा ये जरूर है तेरी नजर का कसूर है पास तू क्यों दूर है ये इश्क का जो फितूर है नशे में दिल तेरे चूर है अब तो होश ना खबर है ये कैसा असर है होश ना खबर है ये कैसा असर है तुमसे मिलने के बाद दिल तुमसे मिलने के बाद
सबर क्यों मीठा है फल
मेरा ख्वाब है तू मेरे दिल का करार देख ले जाने मन देख ले बस एक बार चैन खो गया है कुछ तो हो गया है चैन खो गया है कुछ तो हो गया है तुमसे मिलने के बाद तुमसे मिलने के बाद अब तो होश ना खबर है ये कैसा असर है होश ना खबर है ये कैसा असर है तुमसे मिलने के बाद तुमसे मिलने के बाद
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica.
We've just heard from Lord Remy Ranger from Dubai about his support for Rishi Sunak. Let's go and talk to someone who is supporting Liz Truss, and that is Chamali Fernando, who is a barrister specialising in civil and commercial litigation. She's been working as a barrister for almost 20 years. She contested the Cambridge seat in the 2015 general election for the Conservatives. She joined the Conservatives in July 2009. Prior to that, she was a Liberal Democrat and was the runner-up in the Liberal Democrats contest to select a mayor for London. To this day, she remains the youngest ever candidate to be shortlisted by a mainstream party for the role of Mayor of London. Chamali served on the London Policy Committee for the Liberal Democrats and their Federal Policy Committee before she became a rising star in the Conservative Party. Good morning, Chamali, and welcome to the programme.
Good morning, Keith. Thank you very much for having me on the show, and good morning to your listeners.
Now, we've heard from Remy Ranger. He's pretty besotted by Rishi Sunak. Why are you supporting Liz Truss, who is clearly the front runner in this contest?
Well, for me, I'm looking for someone who can really unite the party and take us through to the next general election. And the fact that Liz was a Lib Dem and comes from a less privileged background, gives her broader appeal, not just within the party, but actually across the political spectrum. For me, she understands the levelling up agenda, and we absolutely need to devolve power to the regions fast. I also love the fact that Liz wants to bring back grammar schools, and she's demonstrated already her ability to unite the party. There are staunch Brexiteers like Jacob Rees-Mogg who have backed Liz for the leadership, and that bodes well for the future of the Conservative Party. The issue of Europe has divided the Conservative Party since before I was born even. And now the party has someone who understands the perspective of the Remain voter, but places the will of the people and the democratic process above her own views. So we shouldn't forget that ultimately politicians are there to serve the people.
Now, of course, you stood for Parliament for Cambridge in 2015. That was a year when the Conservatives won the general election. Do you think that Liz Truss is going to win you the next general election?
Yes, I think that it's key as soon as she takes office that we really focus on delivering on our manifesto pledges. We have been derailed by COVID and tackling that challenge, as well as also having a war in Ukraine literally on our doorstep. And now we're facing a cost of living crisis. So there's hurdles that have to be overcome. But we believe in supporting families and workers, and levelling up is going to be key to that agenda. And of course, investing in public services and infrastructure.
This is Talking Points with Keith Vaz on Leica Radio. I'm talking to Shamali Fernando, rising star in the Conservative Party and a backer of Liz Truss. When we come back after the break, we're going to ask her a couple more questions about the woman who may well become the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Join us after the break.
Try Caratino Better Ghee, the healthier, low-cost, cholesterol-free butter ghee alternative. Caratino Better Ghee, available at Tesco, Asda, Morrison's and local grocery stores.
The one thing COVID did give us, digital transformation. If you're serious about digital growth and would like a tactical approach to your digital marketing, then remember the name Harty Hanks. With over 20 years experience and a proven track record, we have the talent and know-how to deliver online success. Harty Hanks, experts in consultancy, branding, design, e-commerce, search and social. Call Harty Hanks today on 020 8827 1600 or visit hhdigital.uk. Harty Hanks, your partners for digital success.
Beyond Bollywood is back. Written, choreographed and directed by Rajiv Goswami and music by legendary musicians Salim Suleiman at the Peacock Theatre, London from the 24th of August to the 3rd of September. Book your tickets now. Call 0207 863 8000 or visit sadlerswells.com. Sponsored by ZTV and Z5.
क्या आपने सुना है West London's newest Indian restaurant Karma Lounge is now open on High Street, Cowley, Uxbridge. Karma Lounge is specializing in signature dishes inspired from the northern Indian frontier and a royal Mughal era. Visit thekarmalounge.co.uk or you can call 0203 4686 555 to book now. You'll also get 20% off as a Leica Radio listener. Offer available Monday through Thursday only.
हम हर जमीन पे अपने देश का परचम लहराते हैं हमें गर्व है कि हम भारतीय कहलाते हैं आजादी की 75वीं वर्षगांठ पर कौन बनेगा करोड़पति मना रहा है आजादी के गर्व का महापर्व इस महोत्सव में रंग भरने आएंगे मेजर टीपी सिंह कर्नल मिताली मधुमिता हाउस द जोश ऑडियंस MC मैरी कॉम सुनील छेत्री और आमिर खान आरंभ होगा कौन बनेगा करोड़पति
Starts tonight 9 p.m. only on Sony TV. Attention to all Indian restaurants, caterers and retail shops. East and West is the trade-only cash and carry and specializes in Indian grocery and food stock. Visit www.east-n-west.com to place an order online and get your goods delivered to your businesses so you can concentrate on your customers and grow the sales. east-n-west.com, serving to restaurants, caterers and retail shops nationwide.
Win a 5-gram gold bar with Pind Valley. To enter, post a selfie or a drink with the Pind Valley bottle and tag Pind Valley_world. The best reel or selfie will be selected to win. Do not miss this fantastic opportunity in this hot weather by making your Pind Valley mocktail today.
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. We're having a debate between the supporters of Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss. And can I say, compared to what I'm seeing on television, this is one of the most civilized debates that is going on between supporters of the two candidates. Shamali Fernando, who's supporting Liz Truss. Shamali, it's likely that she's going to win because she's way ahead in the polls. But when she does win, she's going to be the third woman Prime Minister, also the third woman Conservative Party leader. You must be very proud of that fact.
I am. I think it's amazing. My parents originally come from Sri Lanka, which had the first female Prime Minister in the world. And I was born into a Thatcher government. So it gives me goosebumps, actually, to think about it, that a woman can get to the top job in the country. So I'm very excited about that. It is going to be a difficult period ahead of us in terms of the challenges we face. But as Thatcher used to say, sometimes you need a woman leading from the front. So I have high hopes for Liz Truss.
Now, give me one policy. You've told us a broad range of policies which you thought that she would put into effect when she became Prime Minister. Give me one particular policy that she's talked about that's really impressed you, that you want to see her implement on the 5th of September. Just one.
Well, it's not something that can be achieved just in one day, but the levelling up agenda is something that she truly believes in. And I get the sense that she's 100% behind it and wants to make it happen. And that is going to make a difference to people from all across the country, but also people from all different races and backgrounds and different political belief systems. And I think that's where her greatest strength is. The biggest immediate problem is possibly Ukraine. And she has also demonstrated that she is someone who's willing to stand up to Russia. And so I think the combination of dealing domestically with the levelling up agenda, but also being a key player on the international stage is where she has an advantage.
If she becomes Prime Minister, who would you like to see in the cabinet and who would you like to see out of the cabinet? Obviously, one of the great achievements of Boris Johnson is he appointed so many ethnic minorities to his cabinet. In fact, the start of the leadership elections, it was quite difficult to find a white candidate. There were so many BAME people being represented. Who would you like to see in and who would you like to see out?
Well, of course, your listeners will know that as a party member, I don't have the privilege of choosing the cabinet, but
Shame.
I definitely think that there is a role for people like Penny Mordaunt and even Tom Tugendhat, possibly for him within the Foreign Office. He has an international perspective, and at this moment in time, with his background, I think he could be well placed. Kemi Badenoch and Suella Braverman, in my view, are two people who could be easily kept in post. Sometimes it's tempting to think out with the old and in with the new, but that's not necessary here. I think I would like to see some red wall Tories having their voice around the cabinet table. For me personally, Michael Gove, Jacob Rees-Mogg and Kwasi Kwarteng are extremely intelligent, and I would like to see their thinking influence the way the Conservatives govern going forward.
Final question. There's been a sea change in the way in which ethnic minorities appear to be voting. Do you think that it's finally been cracked and actually the ethnic minorities communities in the United Kingdom vote according to their beliefs rather than in a block for one party or the other? Very brief answer.
Yes, I think that there was a time, certainly before I was born, that ethnic minorities voted almost in a sort of tribal way. This is what their family had done. They may have seen an opposition party as the best voice for them. But being able to see role models within your political party makes you think, right, okay, if this person is there, does that mean that they might represent my views or they have an understanding of my perspective? So I think the way people vote has changed. There is still tribal politics in the UK, but Brexit has shaken that up. So we have seen those vast swathes of red seats in the north of the country really taking on the issues that matter to them and saying, well, we're going to do something different this time round.
Shamali Fernando, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for speaking so eloquently about candidacy of Liz Truss. We will know on the 5th of September whether it's a victory for Shamali or a victory for Rami Ranger. So you have to come back and tell us what you think after the result is announced. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me on the programme today, Keith, and I wish all your Leica Radio listeners a lovely day.
अब जब तब रंग बरसे हैं सन 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 बरसे रे मुख नक्श भीगे भीगे सन 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 भीगे रे है भला की क्या ये दिन मेरे कहने रे ना चला की मेरे आगे अब चलनी रे
ठग से जग से खींच तुझे मैं ले जाऊं दूर कहीं
बलिए
चलिए जे हाथ फड़ा यार दाते सच्चे दिलदार दाते किसी कीमत ते ना छड़िए तू तोहफा तू मेरा इनाम है ज़मीं आसमां है तू मेरा जहां है
फितना गरिया की परवाना सुन जानी हौले हौले सनम इन बाहों में होना फानी
बलिए घर से फिर जाके जी ले और कहीं कहने रब से
यो लव करूं कुड़ी तुझे सरेआम टेडली अदा तेरी बदनाम खुल जाए जैसे पर्दा देखे कोई देखे चाहे फर्क नहीं पड़ता
कोई तेरी और नहीं देखे ना देखे और अगर देखे तो बस पूछे पहले मुझसे शक जब तक तू है बस ये रूदारी है अब बेशक सब है तेरे ये साझेदारी है भला की क्या ये तेरे मेरे कहने रे ना चला की मेरे आगे अब चलनी रे
मर मुक जाऊं फिर भी तुझ बिन मरना भी है बेयकीन
बलिए तेरे जा मेरी कलिए
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
That's it for this week. Time's up. My thanks to Sneh Metha, Lord Rami Ranger, and Shamali Fernando. Special thanks to my producer Rupi and, of course, my editor Adam. To end today's program, I've chosen a song we've not heard from for a while. Chaka Chak, A.R. Rahman, Shrela Ghoshal, and Urshad Kamil. Please stay tuned to Leica Radio for the rest of the day. This has been Talking Points on Leica Radio with Keith Vaz, broadcasting from London. Have a great Sunday.
हाय चक्का चक है तू हाय चक्का चक हूँ मैं हाय चक्का चक है तू हाय चक्का चक हूँ मैं टपकती दोपहर सी लड़की की लहर सी मेरी जैसी चाहिए तेरे जैसे को फूलों वाली डाली भी हो चुम्मा भी हो गाली भी हो